Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Little. Today, we are playing the CoinPoker $5,000 free roll for people who signed up using our affiliate code. You can check that out at pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. We have a $1 buy-in, $1,000 added tournaments every single week on CoinPoker. We've been doing that for about 2 years now, give or take. We've given away something like $100,000, maybe more, to the community, and I am glad about that. CoinPoker made some big updates on their site recently. I have not played on it too much recently, but we'll give it a go. There are some bounties today. If you bust me or any of the other poker coaching coaches playing, you'll get a $215 buy-in tournament entry to the CoinPoker Million, which is taking place over the course of this month. I will post all of their names here. That didn't work. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure I have my list right. We raised the ace-9 right off the bat. Let's see. All right, here we go. Here's everybody's names. I will post them in the chat. These are the players that if you bust, you will get a $215 ticket. This is their Twitter name plus their name on CoinPoker. We have Justin Sliba, Jay Sliba 2. We have Adam Hendricks at Kevin Fwap, Matt Affleck at 3 off the tee. We have Brock Wilson at LV Raiders. Did I say him twice? And then we have Aram Zobian at Enzymes. All right, there we go. We are on a 5-minute delay today because we're playing for real money in this tournament. Where is it? First place is currently going to be about $925. It's a chunky amount. Notice currently we are paying about 50 players. At the moment, there are 317 people in the tournament. There's still time for you to get in if you are someone who signed up using the Poker Coaching affiliate code at pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. Like I said, if you do use that every single week, you can play a $1 buy-in, $1,000 added tournament. Ace-9 under the gun is not a great hand, but I'm just going to raise it. It is worth noting, if you bust me, you get $200. So people should probably try to go after me pretty hard. That said, maybe they won't. Maybe they're not aware of it. Who knows? We raise it up. Big blind calls. King, Queen, 6 is a board we can bet frequently. I think we can go medium or big in this spot, just in general. If the opponents are going to start like check jamming me or whatever, of course it gets a little bit dicey to even put money in the pot because you really don't want to get raised. Here, I think we can bet again, like 7. Do we want to blast it off right in the beginning? That's the question. I think the saying can very reasonably bet. I'm just not sure we can get very many folds, but I think we can still go for something like 7. And obviously, if we get there on the river, it's going to be fantastic. It only goes poorly for me if we do get jammed. We get the fold, though. Rabbit hunt. There you go. I'm not sure. Oh, goodness. I posted the wrong thing on Twitter. I'm having a we're having a meetup game on, let's see, how would I do this? On June 4th from 12 p.m. till noon at Bellagio for the Mixed Game Festival. I posted that it was at Aria because I messed up. So many details. Am I right? All right, ace king. Limp, raise. We'll put in the 3-bet to 16 just to get money in the pot. We have the best hand a ton. If we get jammed on, I'm just going to call it off. Might be out first hand of the tournament. That'll be okay. I'm willing to play with the ace king. Where did I even just see that notification? Goodness gracious, there's so much going on. There's always so much going on. Literally just posted it. Where did it go? All right, queen 5 suited. Let's raise it up again. At that meetup game at Aria. Not at Aria, gosh. At that meetup game at Bellagio, it's going to be me, Justin Sleba, and Alex Livingston. They play way more mixed games than I do. We're also going to be giving away an $800 entry to the Aria Poker Classic Horse event and a whole bunch of other stuff. We do have a mixed game course that just came out recently on PokerCoaching.com. Definitely check that out. If you like mixed games, if you're preparing for the World Series, it's by Alex Livingston. It is excellent. Also, we're going to be giving away a $1,500 World Series of Poker seat to one of the first 250 people who get in that course. I'll post a link to it if you're interested in mixed games at all. Here you go. He discusses basically all the games. Omaha 8 or better, limit hold'em, stud high low, Raz, deuce to 7 triple draw, deuce to 7 single draw, Badoogie, Badacy, Badusi. He also goes through a bunch of hand histories from his play and also Brad Owen's play in the $50,000 buy-in Poker Players Championship event. So if you like mixed games, that is certainly for you. Interesting to see they have X/F. X means check, but I haven't really seen that used very often on poker websites or poker sites. It's more of like a poker player vernacular, I think. It's neat to see them using that. It's always tricky whenever you're trying to figure out like what vernacular to use when you're talking to poker players, right? Because some people know what you mean, some people don't. Oh, here's where I saw this. Okay. We raise up with the ace-8 of hearts. We get 3-bet again by the same player who 3-betted us previously. We're certainly going to stick around this time and try to flop well. This is a dicey one. Given the opponent's 3-bet once already, I don't think I'm going to try to find folds on this hand too quickly. Check, check, flop. I think Jack is a pretty fine card to just check on the turn. Notice we chop with any ace, right? Well, any ace that we're chopping with. So I don't think we want to make the pot too big. He could obviously have pocket jacks. That's a hand that would make a lot of sense to check back on the flop. He could easily just have ace-king, ace-10, etc. Check, check, though, and we win. I wonder if there's a way to see the hand history. I'm sure there probably is. Let's see if we can figure it out. Here we go. Did we get to see what they had? I guess we don't. Or do we? I guess we don't. If anybody knows how to see what cards they have, let me know. Aces, that's good. If you have any problems getting your ticket, you're probably too late at this point. Email support at CoinPoker.com. They are in charge of the tickets. I have no control whatsoever if you do not get your ticket. As you can see, I'm sitting here streaming this tournament. So, unfortunately, if you do not get it, you are out of luck. That said, we have tournaments every week. If you were able to get in those, you should have been able to get in this one. We were told that every person who has already signed up got the ticket. Again, unfortunately, that is not my department. I'm just here to give away the $5,000 plus 6 $200 seats. $6,200 going out to the poker coaching community today. Makes me happy. Always like giving away money to the poker coaching community. All right. If any of you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, feel free to type them in. I do realize we're on a 5-minute delay today, so that you all cannot see my cards. So, you know, we may be a little bit slow answering questions. CoinPoker Millions starts today, I think. Is that correct? I wish there was a tournament I could play that I knew would be over in like 4 hours. That's okay. Maybe I'll load up some cash games on the side so we have some action. Raise, call, call. I think Queen 8 of Hearts is an okay hand to call on the button. As long as you don't expect to get 3-bet by the blinds too often, you're going to see the flop very, very frequently. And I think if you're going to see the flop very frequently, well then, how bad can it be? 5 cent, 10 cent. I want to play 50-cent dollar or something. Let's see. All right, check around to me. I don't think there's any point in putting money in the pot. I'll play a 50-cent dollar game on the side. If any fun hands happen, I'll bring them up. We just fold with the nothing. We are in this game down here. 50-cent dollar for fun. Guess we'll play this hand while we're at it. And I'll also pull up the poker coaching coaches if I can find them easily. Great flop for me. Do you have to pay to rabbit hunt on this site? Never pay to rabbit hunt, by the way. That should be very, very obvious. Do not pay for any of that kind of thing. It's not going to be a good idea. You will torch your money, in my opinion. That said, some people like to splash around. Looks like Adam Hendricks has already been eliminated. So this is a post and a raise. I'm probably supposed to just re-raise with the 8s. Calling is, of course, reasonable too. Not exactly sure of the rake structure on the site, but typically when you are in the small blind in a cash game that has a rake, you want to do a lot of 3-betting in general. And when the posts are post, you're not worried about that because usually they raise their best hands. They have worse than a random hand typically when they post. That said, there's an ante in place, so maybe that incentivizes you to call a little bit more just because there's more money in the pot in general. But whatever, we'll just play reasonably. Queen Jack offsuit, again, call or 3-bet. Depending on the structure, I probably should have studied that ahead of time, huh? Ooh, I'm not sure this is bringing up the tournament that I need it to bring up. This has got to be a setting for that. Let's go figure it out. Table settings, maybe? Focused window on turn, I think is what we want. Okay. Seems like that should work. Pocket twos under the gun. Look, in GTO world, you're supposed to fold the pocket twos under the gun. Let's see if this works, if it pops it up next time. Not that we should necessarily be playing in GTO world. That said, I am going to try to play my best poker. So we're not going to play hands like that. Although, if I'm not going to get 3-bet that often, then it becomes way more reasonable to call it, right? Or to raise it. So I'm hoping, well, never mind. I'm hoping that it will pop up this table when it's my turn. That is my desire. You're back with Coin. Well, Coin is giving us lots and lots of free rolls for the poker coaching community. They've been giving us free rolls for about 2 years straight, give or take. Every week we have a $1,000 buy-in. I'm sorry, a $1 buy-in, a $1,000 added tournament for the poker coaching community. CoinPoker's been great to lots of various poker communities out there, including mine. And we've given away a bunch of money to the poker coaching community. $200,000 or so, give or take. They do various promotions here or there. Sometimes the tournaments are every week, sometimes slightly different. This week we have a $5,000 tournament. Plus, the 6 people are going to bust the pros and get an extra $200 ticket. So I'm a big fan of giving lots and lots and lots of money to the poker coaching community. Okay, we're going to try to focus on the tournament in general. I will show the cash game if anything fun happens. 6 deuce, we will check and fold. So I personally always call a deuce a 2. And I was wondering, why do poker players call the deuce a 2? I know it's French, obviously, and poker came from France. But what is the actual reason? What is the actual reason? Do you all know the actual reason? Don't chat GPT it. I don't know if it's a real reason or not. But why would we call a deuce, a 2, a deuce? Logically. If you think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. But it's funny because I bet a lot of poker players have no clue. At least what ChatGPT claims. Which very easily could be very, very wrong. Well, chat claims we call it a deuce because the word 2 has multiple meanings. Right? I always tell poker players, make sure you say very, very, very clear things at the poker table. That said, you really shouldn't have to say your cards, if you think about it. So for that reason, I'm not sure the idea is logical. I think just a lot of poker players like to sound fancy and think they know the vernacular and the terminology. And in that scenario, you should probably just call it a 2. I'm going to continue calling it a 2. This came up the other day because I was making a video blog. You all have been enjoying the video blogs recently. I've been playing 1-3 No Limit Hold'em at the Win. That's been a lot of fun. You all told me to move up to games more like the games you play. So I decided to move up to $25.50 with a $50 ante, and usually with a straddle, and usually with a deuce to 7 game. And I was debating, do I call it the 7-2 game, or do I call it the 7 deuce game? And I decided to just mix it up for fun to confuse everybody. Not to confuse everybody, but just for fun. What's going on in the NFT world? I love art in general. There's art all over this place. Still thriving. Well, maybe not thriving, but still around. I'm not sure when that 2550 vlog will be coming out. It went well. I've actually been pretty fortunate. We played 6 sessions of live poker for the purpose of making these vlogs, and I've somehow managed to win every single session, so that's lucky. I had a fun hand that made up most of the wins in the 2550 game. Should I tell you all about it, or should I leave it for the vlog whenever it comes out? It was a big pot. You can all tell me in the chat if you want me to spoil it now or wait. I'll wait 5 minutes for your answer, because we are 5 minutes in the future. check in to see how some of the other pros are doing. We have Justin Saliba sitting with 50 big blinds. We have Brock Wilson with 74 big blinds. Brock has been crushing it, by the way. He just won the Poker Go series. I think he gets a trophy, kind of like the one that I have right over here. I think he got one of these. So that's cool. All right, under the gun raise and call. I think we'll just call the ace jack. I mean, 3-betting's fine, but I'm usually pretty cautious against under the gun in general and against under the gun +1 in general. So we'll play it slow. With this hand on the flop, I probably would have called a small bet. I don't think we need to bluff. I don't think we have the best hand very often, but I think we have a good amount of equity. Do we ever bet like 2 big blinds? Is anybody ever going to fold out a chop? Probably not. They're always going to call better hands. I think, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Multi-way, it's always tricky because I really don't want to get raised, right? And now we can just very clearly call and probably get half the pot a lot of the time. Like, I don't know what that guy was doing with a 1 big blind bet. That makes no sense. Because you're kind of like me, right? No one's ever going to fold ace high there. And we're probably going to fold out queen high, right? So I don't think there was any point in that bet. Although that bet does make it to where you don't face a bet yourself either, right? But I think with my particular hand, it would be a better play because when I bet 2 big blinds or whatever I was going to bet in that spot, it's a situation where maybe they fold out a chop sometimes, but probably not. But like they're always calling every better hand, right? Playing a cash game hand over here on the side too, so I'm getting sidetracked. You all know how it goes. It's always impressive when poker streamers sit there and play 16 tables at a time and correctly move them from, screen to screen, table to table. I'm just a novice here to give all of you $6,200 today. You thought I left to go to gold. I am not a sponsored pro for any poker site, although I do have various deals with various poker sites to give lots of you money. We had a few free rolls on gold, like you mentioned. We've had tons of CoinPoker free rolls. I'm happy to do whatever I need to do to give all of you money. Ooh, splash pot. What does that mean? Mega splash pot. Okay. Does that mean they're about to put this many big blinds in the pot? 50 big blinds go in the pot? I mean, what? Are we just all in? Oh, gosh. I'm very confused what this means. I mean, I guess I'm supposed to call. I'm not sure what's happening with this pot. All right, so this happens. Now, if this guy calls, I think I have to fold because my hand's really garbage. And I think there's only 20 extra dollars in the pot. So if that's the case, I'm still probably supposed to just fold, right? With ace-6 offsuit. I do think we're supposed to try to play the hand. I get that we're supposed to try to play the hand. But right here, we need to have, 45% equity, which we probably don't. So folding's probably fine. Why does it say $42? I don't understand. But whatever. Okay, fine. Sometimes you're not going to understand. It is important to make sure you study whatever you're doing ahead of time. Here, I think we can logically just call and try to flop well. The opponent's very short stacked. If we don't get a pair, we can check out. If we do get a pair, we can then put our money in. And here, of course, we're going to call it off if he bets. If he bets any amount, I'm probably just going to jam. Do we need to jam? Yeah, probably, right? Our hand's somewhat vulnerable. We're obviously never folding. The question is, do we get him to bluff off ever by calling? And I think the answer is just no. And like right here is a good example where he's going to have to call it off if I jam, right, and get it in pretty badly. But if I jam myself, if I jam, he's going to call it off. But if I called there, it's going to go check on the turn a lot, right? Which is obviously not good for me because then he's going to realize his equity pretty well. Instead, we're going to get it in behind. So I like that play. All right, we get queens. They all fold. We get fours. We'll raise it up again. All right, we raise under the gun and get jam. I think it's probably just a fold, right? It's fine to fold in the spot with roughly 50-50 spot. That ace-6 hand was weird. I wasn't sure how much money was in the pot. I thought it was $50 extra, but then it was $20 extra. So I was kind of confused as to what was happening there. If it was $50 extra, that changes things a lot compared to $20 extra, right? So always do a little bit of study, try to figure out what's happening on the site. Queen 3, I think we can limp. As long as we don't get jammed on too often. You want to call a lot in the small blind. Make sure you check out peakgto.com for preflop charts. You want to be calling a lot when you're getting very, very good pot odds, because here we had to put in half a big blind to try to win 3. So do you think we're going to realize 18% equity in the pot or whatever it is? And the answer is certainly. Once they raise, though, we have to put in 3 to try to win 9. So now we have to realize 33% of the pot against a range that should be somewhat polarized, which we probably will not successfully do. So you can limp there profitably and then fold to a raise also correctly. We have a limp. It's always dicey when you get limp re-raised when you're sitting here with the jacks, but jacks will be good enough for me. It is interesting in spots like this where I'm kind of just like resigned to going broke if the guy limp jams me. And I know when he limp jams me, he's going to have aces some. But again, we have this bounty thing in play. It's a free roll tournament. So all that combined is going to make me want to just get it in, right? I do think a lot of people, however, think that free rolls are drastically different than regular tournaments, or that small stakes tournaments are drastically different than high stakes tournaments. And I don't think any of that is the case. I think a lot of people like to try to make excuses for why one strategy works in one place but not the other place. And in reality, good poker is going to do well in all situations. Although there certainly will be exploits you can use in some games compared to others that will take advantage of the mistakes the opponents are making. Three maxi Bitcoin. It's one of my friends. He won a CoinPoker tournament the other day, and they sent him a silver coin as a trophy. That was pretty cool. It's a splash pot. Free 20 big blinds. Yeah, 20 big blinds, which we figured out. Too late. Because that's the thing, like in that spot, you're going to get jammed a ton, right? So maybe we're just putting in 5 big blinds poorly, but if you have a good hand, you obviously want them putting in their money poorly, right? Tricky spot. All right, under the gun raises, we have the ace-10 offsuit. I'm just going to fold. It's a little bit nitty, but notice everybody yet to act has a reasonable shove stack if I call or 3-bet. And under the gun, of course, should be decently strong. Here we do have their some very basic stats, but don't get too bogged down on these very basic stats. Because in reality, let's raise it this time. We folded 2s earlier with one more player at the table. Let's raise the 3s. Don't get bogged down in the very basic stats. We don't have very many hands on the players, and therefore it just doesn't matter that much. All right, with the 3s, we can, of course, call the 3-bet and try to spike a 3. And we do not. So King XX is not a great flop. This is a scenario where you could very easily have ace king, king queen, king jack, pocket 8s, pocket 7s. right? He can just have all of it. Pocket nines, everything beats me. He may have like ace queen sometimes, ace jack, etc. No chat on YouTube. I'm not sure why we would not have chat on YouTube. Seems like we have chat on YouTube. Not sure what happened with that. Here we might actually win. Nope, no win. Ace queen in the big blind. So 40 big 30 35 big blinds deep or so. This is part we can just rip it in over a raise. Do we want to do that? I mean, probably. I wish the opponent made it bigger. I think all in's nice. If he cares about this bounty for $200 at all, he should probably call everything, right? Which is fine for me because I have ace queen. Because like right here, imagine, you know, whatever the entry of your tournament's worth, 20 or 30 bucks. Here he goes. He's going to call it off. If your tournament buy is worth 30 bucks, then you can collect 200 if you call it off. I mean, that adds, what, 7 starting stacks to the pot? So if you have 7 starting stacks added to the pot, obviously you should call off quite wide. Like we discussed earlier, if you did not get your ticket for whatever reason, you are out of luck for today. I hate that for you. I wish you would have looked way before the tournament started. I cannot go back and add tickets to people. I don't even have control over that. That is something on CoinPoker's end. You can email them at support@coinpoker.com if you want to talk to them about your issue. But as far as I know, everyone who had previously been able to play our free roll should have been able to have the ticket to play this free roll. We'll call this bet. Could have raised as well. I don't know. Maybe raising would be fine with this junky draw, because if you miss on the turn and he keeps blasting it, you kind of need to fold, right? So maybe we do just want to raise it. Here we're getting very good odds. So the question is, if we spike on the river, will we be able to get in any more money? And I don't know. Because like right here, the problem is the 9's really bad. So I'm gonna fold this one. I'm not really all about folding straight draws. But I think that's a good spot to do it. Somebody named Jonathan Large is the chip leader. That's cute. Oh yeah, let's look up the pros. E-N-Z-Y. Oh, not in here, okay. Lovely Raiders is there. 3 off. The T has been eliminated. You all have eliminated Matt Affleck and Adam Hendricks. Justin Sleba still in, as am I. Me, Brock, and Justin Sleba holding down the fort. So far, we've lost about 25% of the field. I have no idea how long this tournament's going to take. We got Jonathan Large, the chip leader, over here. Will it not let me talk on another table? That's sad. If you all have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, let me know. As I mentioned, anyone who does not have your ticket, you are out of luck. You'd like to see me on Hustler Casino Live. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I did get to play at Table 1 recently. Like I said, that will be... Well, you'll all be able to enjoy that session in an upcoming video blog on YouTube. Which site has more seasoned players? I have no idea. Get in there and experiment. for a lot of things in poker, you need to just get in there and put in some volume. Because the idea of, is the game soft on this site versus the other site? I mean, while one site may be a little softer than the other, it's not going to be like one site is substantially softer than the other. And also, Jonathan Little, I'm not going to know what even stakes you're playing, and I have no experience playing those stakes because I'm not playing, 5 cent, 10 cent, or whatever it is, right? So I'm not even a good person to ask that question. That said, you should try to find the games that are softest for whatever reason. Look for sites with good promotions that matter to you. Look for sites where you can play a decent amount of volume. Here's a pretty big raise, but I think I'm still just going to call the 6-5 suited. So like right here, if he bets one big blind or something, we can stick around. I would normally be pretty tempted to check raise this hand over a small bet, and I'm sure we're supposed to check raise this a lot in general. But because I think players are going to be inclined to try to bounty hunt me, I'm going to play it a little slower. Do we even get to call this is my question. Again, if you bet smaller, like 1, I think we can call, but I think for that size, it's probably okay to just fold. Do we have to pay to rabbit hunt? I hope I'm not paying any money to rabbit hunt. That would be a disaster. How many bounties are left? As far as I know, there are 3. Justin Saliba and Brock Wilson and me. Brock Wilson is at LV Raiders. Justin Saliba is at J Saliba 2. All right, we'll call half a big blind, try to flop well. It's not particularly well, so we will be checking out. You can't find the 1K tournaments. Check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. All the information is there. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@pokercoaching.com. Like I said, I cannot sit here and walk you through how to use the website. I barely know how to use it myself. So realize that is not my job right now. Hopefully that's okay for you. Three Maxi Bitcoin over here chipping up, winning pocket kings against the Queen Jack suited. It's always nice to win the kings against the Queen Jack suited. The other day when we played the table 1 game, would you believe that I had 0 7 deuces? 0. How annoying is that? I think I paid something like $4,000 to people over the course of the day who had 7 deuce and won with it. I didn't even get dealt it. That said, I did get aces 2 times. So, would you rather get 7 deuce 5 times or aces 2 times when you get $200 per person with a 7 deuce? I think you'd rather just get the aces. How long was the heads-up match against Jonathan Jaffe? I don't remember, but it was one of the longest ones ever. And after that, they changed the WPT structure heads-up from 2-hour levels, which is what all the WPTs used to be before they made them much more turbo, to 30-minute levels heads-up. So it was 2 hours throughout the entire tournament, and then 30 minutes once you got heads-up. But before that, it was 2 hours for every level of every tournament. Usually they were freeze-outs. You could not re-enter. Oh, those were the days. Those were some good tournaments because you had all the time in the world to sit back, relax, find good spots, and go from there. Now, you're pressured by the blinds, plus proportionally way stronger fields because of the re-entries. Makes the game way tougher. Let's see if I have that trophy back here. This trophy here, can you see it? No, you can't see it. I'll bring it over here. This is a 2-part trophy. We have a globe, and we have the stand, as you can see here. I don't know if it says 2008 Foxwoods World Poker Finals, $10,000 no-limit hold'em. Min raise from the small blind we can call very wide. They also gave us this bracelet. Cute. Has Tiffany diamonds in it. I think we'll just check this and try to improve. If he bets the turn, I'll just fold. I feel like we've been a little bit nitty so far, but that's how it goes sometimes. You do have to be a little bit careful in tournaments in general, especially when there's incentive for people to try to bust you. He was going for a bounty but got knocked out. That's how it goes when you go for the bounty sometimes. Queen 3. We should limp. Checked immediately. Let's go for a one big blind bet. Hopefully he folds if he doesn't have anything. How can you find the game we're in right now? You go to CoinPoker, you go to tournaments, and then you look for this one. It's been running for 41 minutes. It's the Poker Coaching Invitational. If you scroll down, it will be right in here if you're not registered in it. I'm not sure if you can still register, though, actually. That said, we have tournaments every week. Usually it's a $1 buy-in, $1,000 added tournament, which means if there's 100 people, that means there will be $100 that you all put in and $1,000 that CoinPoker puts in, which is $1,100. So if there's 100 people, that means your $1 buy-in is worth, what, 11 bucks? Give you a solid, what is that, 1,000% ROI right off the top. I know it's only $1, but hey, you get to get some experience. You get to get some money added. And like I said, we've given away something like $200,000 to the poker coaching community over the last few years doing these weekly free rolls. You feel like you have trouble having patience. The best you've done in a tournament is 22nd, but you got too aggressive 4 hours in. I mean, look, there's a lot of variance in tournaments. Especially if you haven't played a ton, you will experience massive amounts of variance. Realize that it's hard to win the tournament, right? I mean, I'll give you an example. I just went to Europe for the World Series Europe, and I think I played 7 tournaments, and I had one cash that was, for 2.5 buy-ins or something like that. Ended up losing money, but I had a lot of decent spots, and I don't think I played poorly at all or anything. I think I played pretty well. I actually vlogged a lot of it for all of you. Again, you can check that out on youtube.com/pokercoaching. If you enjoy those videos, by the way, do me a favor, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Do all of that. But anyway, sometimes you're just going to run poorly. I was actually out there with 4 or 5 other good, strong American players, and we all got wrecked. You may say, oh, you don't understand the player pool. You don't know what to do against these people. No, it's just variance. Sometimes that's how it goes. Who are the pros? The other pros in this tournament are LV Raiders. This is Brock Wilson, who's been on a super heater recently. He's been winning basically everything. And then we have Jay Saliba 2. This is Justin Saliba. You all know him. Super crusher as well. And then you have me, Jonathan Little. I'm not Jonathan Large, I'm Jonathan Little. Pocket Queens. Come and get it. This is a great spot for me if people are aware of the bounty, like I said. Seems like they're really not trying to bounty hunt me very much, which is kind of annoying because I want to get bounty hunted. King Jack 6. We can check or bet small. I think either play is very reasonable. I think in this game I'd prefer to just check it because we're not very vulnerable to being outdrawn. And I want to induce bluff/value bets. And I really don't want to get jammed, right? Where if we call, we can keep the pot somewhat reasonable. Let's just check again and then value bet the river. Well, now we're definitely going to value bet the river. So we'll go for 4 big blinds and hopefully get called. Pretty sure you saw all the 7 deuce combos at an event in Austin. Yeah. In that table 1 game the other day, one guy got 7 deuce like 6 times and won the pot with it every single time. I mean, maybe he had some other times he didn't win the pot, but gosh, he was getting all the 7 deuce. All right, raise and call with the ace 3. We'll just fold. This is a spot where we're going to be pretty dominated by one of the 2 players. And, while we could have the best hand, sometimes if we shove all in and get called, we're not going to have the best hand very often. That said, we do only have 25 big blinds, so we need to start getting something to happen. All right, raise and call. What in the world? We'll call, I guess. Try to flop well. Not the best spot to call because this guy's very short. Now, if they fold back to me, this is probably going to be a call. I'm not going to love it, but pot odds, right? We have to put in 10 to win 28? All right, now that there's a call in the middle, we can fold. But notice here, this is maybe a spot where we should simply just fold it. If you can foresee this player shoving a lot, then definitely just fold pre-flop. But the player's not playing too insane or anything, so I think the call is fine to try to flop well. But you do have to be very cautious here. We would have gotten it in poorly. Are you playing cash on coin right now? I am. We're playing on a 50-cent dollar table. We're over here hanging around. Not had much happening. That's what happens when you play exactly one table. I did recently record myself playing some 50-cent dollar, maybe some bigger games. I forget exactly what I played. But that is up on PokerCoaching.com right now called Inside the Mind of a Pro. Me, Justin Sleba, and Chris Brewer all went and played cash games online, a decent amount. You can all watch every single hand we played. Not sure how it went for them. It went well for me. So that's good. But you can check that out called Inside the Mind of a Pro on PokerCoaching.com. So here we get jam, or 3-bet. We're just going to put it in. Is there any merit in calling? So here, like remember I had the king queen earlier and I just called, hoping to flop well? That's because king queen's very rarely good when you get it all in. Here, ace queen actually is good when you get it all in a lot. So you'd rather just get it all in immediately than call and try to flop well. Now we get it in poorly. We're going to have to note who busted me. R.I.P. Tekeshita 7. Congrats to Tekesha, Tekeshita 7. Tekesha 7 wrecks me. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. We'll focus on Justin Sleba, see how he's doing. It's a little bit tricky with no hole cards. Perhaps we will fun spot here. We run out of straight. You think we should ever this is a spot where we have a lot of sevens and you should have none. We do get called. We chop. Bummer. So we'll continue watching this tournament for a little while. We'll play some cash games while we're hanging out. You're looking. It's in Rubik's I have no clue what you're talking about. 3 Bitcoin Maxi in again. Or 3 Maxi Bitcoin in again. Wins again. Oh my gosh. He told me he had a tennis tournament to go play, but instead he's going to win the game. Short stack raises over here. With 7-6 suited. Look, in GTO world, this might be a fold. I didn't really come to fold the 7-6 suited, though. Especially if we're going to flop to 2 pairs. Cool spot where if it goes check, bet, I should mostly call, I think. Or check, check, bet. I should mostly call and hope this guy raises. Same thing on the turn, right? This is a spot where this player should bet very often. Facing the bet now, I think I do just want to raise immediately, right? I don't think we want to go too big. I mean, maybe the right play is just to call to induce as many bluffs as possible. We have the super nuts, right? Yeah, if the pot was bigger, we could call, because then we could easily get it in by the river. Here, we need to raise, because notice now we have 2/3 pot, right? If we called, the pot would have been much smaller. And if he jams, he's just not going to jam the river very much, right? But here, we can make the pot big, obviously get money in great, and have a low stack to pot ratio. We'll show him at 6. It was probably good. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, feel free to let me know. We'll stick with all of you at least until we figure out where all the bounties are going. Justin Saliba still in the tournament with 25 big blinds. Brock Wilson also still in, 26 big blinds. And 3 Maxi Bitcoin, who has slaughtered our free rolls over the last 2 years. He's probably up, I don't know, $3,000 or more. He's sitting in here with almost a chip lead. Go figure. Free Roll Pro. Looks like I again messed up posting something on Twitter. Or maybe I got it right. Okay, I got it right now. There is a meetup game coming up very soon at Bellagio in Las Vegas. Straddle. I don't want to straddle. Straddle from way over here. Trying to get some action going. We do have a meetup game coming up on June 4th from noon until 2 p.m. at Bellagio. I will see you there along with Justin Saliba, who is still in our tournament today, and Alex Livingston, who has been a force in the mixed games recently. He has a brand new course out on PokerCoaching.com discussing how to master mixed games. He goes through how to play really every single game you're going to encounter. Let me pull this over here and show you real quick. In his course, he covers Omaha 8 or better, limit hold'em, stud high, stud 8 or better, stud low, Raz, the draw games, deuce 7 triple draw, deuce 7 single draw, Badoogie, Badacey, Baducey, and then he goes through a bunch of hands that Brad Owen played in a $50,000 buy-in World Series event, as well as he goes through a bunch of hands that he played in those same games. So, if you want to get into mixed games, this is for you. Master Mixed Games on PokerCoaching.com. Check it out. I'm excited to be getting in the mixed game streets with them, though, on June, already lost the date, whenever it is, June 4th, something like that. Goodness gracious. It's hard to keep my schedule together. Yeah, June 4th from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. at Bellagio in Las Vegas. Justin Saliba in the big blind. Will he wake up with a hand? What do you think? Pocket jacks. We wake up with a hand. No action for me. That's a bummer. Justin Saliba did not get a hand. That's a bummer. Bummer for everybody. I guess I won the pot, so you can't really complain about that. It's always good to win the pot. King 8 suited against under the gun raise. This player only has 20 big blinds. I'm sorry, they don't have 20 big blinds. I can't read. They have 200 big blinds. We will certainly call and try to see the flop. King Eye flush draw, I think, is a hand. It doesn't really want to check raise all that often because it could be the best hand sometimes. I'd much rather check raise lower flush draws. This is a spot where the opponent will bet kind of polarized in general. just because they should have a big range and nut advantage here. We're going to call. When they do bet big, though, you really just don't raise very often at all. On the turn, I'm just going to let him continue bluffing. I'm going to check call a lot. Tank, give it some thought and call. And on the river, we will... do we still check jam the river? Can he call with a whole lot of worse stuff? He'll call any flush, of course. He'll call like ace 10 probably. Pocket aces. Well, we call ace king if I jam. Probably not. Notice he can't even have the king of spades. I mean, I think we still just have to jam. I mean, I hate that he pots it, right? When he pots it, he's saying I got a really, really, really good hand or nothing. Look, I think this is just too good to not shove. But I could just be jamming into boats here a lot. Maybe that's too thin. I'm not sure. And he did have pocket 5, so unlucky river. We'll get more money. It's a spot where almost, I think, maybe we're not supposed to jam when he bets so big on the river. Interesting one. We're on a break from the tournament. So, I guess I'll take a little break too. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, we are back. We are waiting for the blinds. Let's see how the other coaches are doing. Still in the tournament, we have LV Raiders sitting with 24 big blinds, which is 14,000 chips. We started with 10. Also still in the tournament. Maybe. Is Justin Saliba, if I can find him. Let's see. With 10,000 chips, right with what he started at. It's not really where you want to be, but it's where you are sometimes. Also still in the tournament, we have 3 Maxi BTC, crusher of our games, and probably a whole lot of other people. If you're in the tournament still, let me know. Rube Skis Poker is apparently in the chat. Good luck to you against everyone but me. What does that mean? I should probably figure out what all this stuff means. Oh, I guess I won something. I think I won $4. I don't know why I won $4, but I won $4. That's nice. All right, small blind raises. We will call. Could also 3-bet the 7-6 suited. If there was a club, we would definitely continue. Facing the tiny bet, I think we can also continue. Probably don't want to raise too often. With 2 overcards, I think it's a little bit too tight to fold for a tiny bet in position. Do we want to just bluff it off is the question here. And I would presume just no if he checks. If he bets, of course, we're done with it. We need to have a diamond to stick around at this point. You may say, why even call the small flop bet? Well, we could get any of the straight draw cards. Also, obviously, a 7 and 6 is good enough. Blind versus blind. A big mistake a lot of people make is folding too often to tiny bets, especially in position. Is registration still open? I do not believe it is. We've only been advertising this tournament for about a month. If you're late, sorry you're late. That said, we do have tournaments basically every week on CoinPoker. It's a $1 buy-in, $1,000 added. CoinPoker has given the PokerCoaching Community something like $200,000 over the last 2 years or so. We bet the flop, get called, bet the turn, get called. I think we can just go pot on the river, get called by a queen, right? Obviously, getting jammed would be a disaster. It's always weird when the guy thinks for forever and then calls. Oh my gosh, has a flush. Okay. If he did jam me here, it's a tough scenario because it's not like the guy's done anything stupid, right? Like earlier, he just raised under the gun with 5s, flopped a set, went bet. Or what do you do? I forget exactly how it went. Oh yeah, he just bet the flop, bet the turn, bet the river big, so that was fine. Here, our hand's really, really good, of course, but if lots of money goes in, obviously it's not. So you got to be careful there too. Now, a lot of people look at this and think, oh man, online poker is rigged. I played for an hour and got set up twice. You got to realize there's variance in poker. That's okay. The YouTube is set up for kids. No commenting or mini player is available. Okay, good to know. We'll make sure we fix that next time. Thanks for letting me know. Justin Sliba in the pot. Trying to keep it manageable. I'm going to try to not keep it manageable with the aces. No, I should have reloaded. If you're a cash game pro, you probably want the auto reload on in general, because you typically want to have as many chips as you can in the pot. Typically, not always. Justin Sliba finds a way to win a pot with the pocket 9s. All right. And here, we're just going to bet the flop, bet the turn, and blast the river pretty much always. It's a very good flop for me. We'll still just bet. I mean, there's some merit in slow playing. But here, notice that the opponents could easily have hands that, if they improve, would beat us, right? Like, say they have king-jack. It's a spot where maybe they fold to a bet, but if it checks through, they're not going to put in much money unless they improve to a straight. Well, that's not really great for me, right? And obviously here, they could have all sorts of hands, like various 2 pairs, 1 pairs, straight draws, etc. So I think it's fine to go for a bet. I realize we went bet 5 into 10, which is a little bit big. Maybe the opponents are aware that's a little bit big. Maybe they're not. But I just want to get the money in the pot. If you want to be super pro, you actually want to add on to your stack when you get around to the button, because you're going to win more pots from the button than you are under the gun. Like under the gun, you'd rather have almost no chips, and on the button, you'd rather have a lot of chips. So you take the blinds with this stack and then add on when you're on the button. Typically, that is thought to be, call it best practice. Obviously, though, for simplicity, just auto reload or whatever. We still have Brock Wilson in the $5,000 free roll. Huge thanks to CoinPoker for giving the $5,000 plus 6 $200 tickets to the poker coaching community today. If you've not checked out PokerCoaching.com, go check out PokerCoaching.com, please. Also, if you're watching on any of the various platforms, which I presume you are, click the like and subscribe button, click the notification bell. If you enjoy free rolls, if you have friends who want to play free and / cheap to play tournaments that have lots of value added every week, send them to PokerCoaching.com / weekly MTT. 3 maxi Bitcoin, ripping it all in. Pretty big shove. I would think this is going to be a hand like Ace King, Ace Queen, Ace Jack, maybe something like 10s, 9s, 8s. This is a spot where this player is getting pretty good odds to call. Like whatever they called with, they should have okay equity, right? And like 9s, that's a hand that makes perfect sense. Probably just a very good shove with the 9s. 3 maxi BTC showing why they're king of the free rolls. Hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. I'll stick around for another hour or so, most likely. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, please let us know. You can always email support@pokercoaching.com with anything, or you can just type it in the chat. I'm happy to discuss whatever you all want to discuss. Someone named Jonathan Large is currently 3rd in chips. Jonathan Jaffe webinar. Okay. We have Crazy Sixes. Poker coaching coach here. Also in the game. I presume that's going to be the real Crazy Sixes. Keep an eye on him. And a whole bunch of other players. Thanks to everybody who showed up to play today. Always happy to give all of you free money. I'm told we changed these YouTube settings so y'all can chat now. Guess we messed that up. Sometimes, look, you got to realize there's a million different settings, a million different things. Sometimes we mess up the chat. But just know I appreciate each and every one of you. Three maxi Bitcoin added again. 2 big blind raise, 4 big blind 3-bet. I would recommend a little bit bigger. Just in general. 4-bet. Wow, 4-bets are probably very strong. I gotta presume. I mean, like right here, if you even have, I don't even know, ace, queen, I'm probably just letting it go. As nitty as that sounds. Unless, you know, the opponent's been getting after it. Check flop, check it back. Interesting spot to 4-bet, then just check it. Is this like a lot of pocket kings or more just a lot of pocket aces? You know what I mean? So raise, 3-bet, 4-bet, call. Check, 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 check. I presume we're going to see like kings and 10s or something here. These are hands that would want to check it down a lot. I would not try to bluff anybody off of kings at this point. I would not value bet kings at this point. Queens for 3 maxi Bitcoin avoids the cooler. I would not have value bet the river in that spot, I don't think. And if you're going to value bet the river, small is probably good. But there, the pot was pretty big already. So, oh, I guess I can't see their hand histories. In that spot, I think I would not have value bet. I just would have checked it. Pocket sevens will raise it up. Nobody wants to play. Ace-9 offsuit. Rough hand to play in general. Makes a whole lot of marginal stuff. We can call or 3-bet. Let's just call. Not a great flop. We have no backdoor flush draw. Not that we're going to have it with the offsuit hand very often. We can probably just fold to a bet. You all know that I just completely hate folding. But sometimes you just got to fold. That's just how it goes. Even against a small bet, I think it's okay to let it go. Ooh, Justin Sliba in a pot. Probably going to be playing for all the marbles. He has one pot size bet remaining. Raise 3-bet. I mean, with my stack size, we can almost just rip it in. Because you don't really want to go like 26 and then fold. I think we're just going to shove, given it's kind of big raise, kind of big 3-bet. And we're kind of short. Notice we didn't add on to 100. If we had 100, I would not jam. All right. It's currently deciding. Deciding on what? Pretty good flop for us. Do we get something if we both have the nuts? Hey, what do we get? Oh my God, what do I get? What does that mean? Do I get bonus money? I don't think I got any bonus money. Why would it tell me that if I... Is that like the first pot I've won? That's so confusing. Like what? I don't understand. Oh, look, and then they have this thing every 2 hours you get money too. Wow, so if you like sit here in 4 table, or 12, however many tables you play, this would probably be pretty easy to win every 2 hours. You'd get, is that right? You get $300 every 2 hours? That's crazy. If they're giving away that much money, I mean, if you all are grinders, this might be a good spot to get, a good spot to be. Looks like Justin Sliba did not win his hand. Obviously, with any online poker site, don't leave tons of money on any online poker site. That's just good practice. I do like that CoinPoker has always been really quick to cash me out anytime I wanted to cash out. That said, I mean, if they're giving away $300 to the person who's grinding the most every 2 hours, that's great. Here we raise it up with the King Jack, 2 callers. This is almost uncoordinated enough to where I'd want to bet it every time. If it was like Queen 7-2, I'd probably be pretty inclined to bet it. I think it's probably okay just to bet this anyway. With the diamond, if I get raised, I can just fold easily, right? Without the diamond, I would not bet. We do get called. Turn 2 is pretty rough. Because now, if he has a draw, we actually beat a lot of them, right? So let's check it back. And I may find some calls on the river, as crazy as that sounds. Oh, goodness. He bets 10 on the river. This may sound crazy, but I'm going to call this. At this point, I wish I did not have the Jack of Diamonds, right? But we beat all low flush draws. This big bet says basically queen or 2 or nothing. So I'm going to call. All right. Beat the 7 high. You may ask, why not raise there? I don't think we need to raise, because if we raise, he's not going to fold out queen or two, right? Like right here, whenever he's betting big, in my mind, he has a whole lot of like full houses, 2x, queen x, and then just busted draws. Now, the issue is that if he has like busted ace high draw and I call and I lose, that's obviously terrible. But I'm not even sure he's going to blast the ace high busted draw on the river because it's kind of like me. He just wins a lot, right? So, like in my mind, in theory, that big bet on the river should be very polarized to either nothing or nuts. And notice all the nothing for the most part is like jack 10, jack 9, 10, 9, and low flush draws. Like I said, I wish I didn't have the king of diamonds, but I think there's still plenty of hands there that we can justify calling. Raise, we get 3-bet. I'm not going to fold the queen 10 suited in position. All right. It's probably going to be good enough for me. We're just going to call the flop, try to spike. If he bets the turn, we're of course just going to call. If he jams the turn, we're going to have to fold, which is annoying. He pots it. Wow, or almost pots it. So here, we got to presume the rest of the money is going in on the river, right? So we have to put in 35 to try to win 110, plus another 25. So this is close, I think. We will just call. It's probably going to be close. We're going to be adding on because we lose. Wonderful. Now we just got to fold. That might actually be close to a fold on the turn. We need to run the math. We probably have solid 20-ish% equity on the turn. We have cash game monthly challenges that do not require peak GTO in the future. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. If you have any questions about poker coaching, always email support@pokercoaching.com with exactly what you're asking. Because we have a lot of stuff going on. I'm looking at a bunch of poker tables right now. And it's tricky for me to do anything besides play poker at once. Jack 4 offsuit. Do we play it? Sure. Could probably just fold this in reality, but hey. Let's give some action. Facing big raise, we of course fold. We discussed that earlier. Can you put in half a big blind to try to win 3? So we realize 18% equity out of position with the Jack 4 offsuit. It's probably close. Once we get raised, though, we have to put in 4 to try to win 11. So we realize, what's that, 30, 36, 35%, whatever it is, out of position against what should be a polarized strong range? Definitely not. Justin Saliba and Brock Wilson still battling it out. They're getting pretty short, though, with 12 and 15 big blinds. By the way, we are in the money already in the poker coaching. Or are we in the money already? No, we're not. They tricked me. Next prize is 56th place, and currently there's 161 players remaining. But you get $30 for getting cash? That's nice. Look, we should check the flop a lot. I think we can maybe even check raise this one sometimes with the overcard backdoor flush draw. I think it's reasonable. Would I rather have king, queen? Probably. This is a spot where you do want to develop check raising range, though, with various overcards, backdoor draws. I think when we completely brick the turn, we should check a lot. Annoying spot for sure. Here, I wish I had studied check raise spots like this more. Because I think when the ace comes, we're supposed to bet a lot. But I think this exact hand doesn't really want or need to. And we lose to the queen jack, which is fine. I don't think we need to bluff the river. I don't think this hand's folding. And that's going to be a lot of what he has, especially when he snap calls the flop check raise. We're getting butchered over here today, huh? We're down like 2 buy-ins. Sometimes that's how it goes. I should have waited to rebuy until we pass the blinds, but I completely forgot about that. 3 maxi BTC again in there battling with a raise and a continuation bet against the puppets. That emblem means nothing. Did I get an emblem? None of this matters, by the way, unless they're going to give you money. It does not matter if they say, oh, congrats, you won with a full house, or here's a emblem that says that you're so good. These are for kids who grew up getting rewards in video games. Yeah, make sure whenever you get rewards, they actually matter. If they don't matter, then it's not really a reward. It's more of like a trick. Somehow mentally trying to satiate you and make you feel good about scenarios, right? I'm not saying it's necessarily like bad for the game or anything, but just be aware that I think in poker, a lot of people chase things that don't actually matter that much. And you need to make sure that what you are chasing actually, quote unquote, matters. Now, at the end of the day, we have to realize we're all playing a card game, so it's not like it matters too incredibly much. But if you play stupid games, you'll win stupid prizes. But if you play good games, you'll win good prizes. Justin Sliva all in with the ace, 5 of clubs. He's going to need to hold. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And just like that, Justin Saliba is long gone. Jonathan Jaffe webinar, bust him. GG. Only one poker coach and coach remains. LV Raiders. Brock Wilson. The best of the bunch recently. He's been on an absolute fire. Let me look up his Hendon mob. He's been like, not just on kind of fire, like absolute fire. I think he's #1 player of the year at the moment. We'll call here, of course. Can't go around folding the pair. Yeah, let's take a look at Brock Wilson's stats recently. Oh my goodness. Check, check. We win. Why is this computer not letting me pull this thing out? Oh, here we go. I'll show you all in just a minute. Do we want a 3-bet? Sure. We get 4-bet. Obviously, we have to fold. All right, Brock Wilson. Super crushing recently. 13 million in live tournament earnings. Just took 9th place in a 3K. First place in a $10,000 tournament. First place in another $10,000 tournament, the U.S. Poker Open. Call her 3-bet. First place in a $10,000 high roller at Thunder Valley. First place in the Poker Go Cup. First place in another Poker Go Cup. That's where he won the cup, like this big one. You want a cup like this. It's always nice to win the cup. Third place in another $10,000 tournament. Anyway, he's had a heck of a run. Here, we can just fold with a bad gut shot. Happy for him. I think he's currently #1 player of the year, at least on the Poker Go Tour, so that's exciting. That said, he's going to need some help. He's down to 12 big blinds. 12 big blinds is not where you want to be. There are currently 134 players remaining in the tournament. There's only one poker coach and coach remaining. That is Brock Wilson, LV Raiders. If you bust him, you get $215 buy-in tournament ticket to the CoinPoker Million, or the Coin Millions tournament. They have a large tournament series happening on CoinPoker starting now, going for a pretty good amount of time. They have a $200 buy-in, $1 million guaranteed tournament. They're sending out fun trophies if you win. I think online sites should do more of that. I think online sites should send out trophies whenever you win. I know 3Maxi Bitcoin got a silver coin for winning one of their tournaments the other day. And I think that's like a nice, easy thing for sites to do to reward people. Because when you win an online tournament, it's nice to like have it on your profile or whatever. If you click here, maybe it shows that I have some, what's that mean? If you have various accolades, right? It's cool to see that you won stuff. But it's way cooler to have a physical item. All right, LV Raiders, all in. He's going to need some help. He's going to need a lot of help now. And just like that, Brock Wilson has been vanquished. We'll sweat out 3Maxi Bitcoin for a little bit before we pack it up. We can defend the Queen 2 suited, I think. Maybe a little bit close if the rake is high. If the rake is low or there's no rake out of each pot, you definitely can defend. It's always important to understand the rake structure on your site. As sites have more and more rake, you defend tighter and tighter from the big blind, of course. Who is Jonathan Jaffe Webinar Redux? They busted Justin Sliba. They're the chip leader in the tournament. We'll just check the top pair on the river. I think if we bet, we could get called, but we can also induce some bluffs by checking. Although, maybe not. Maybe we should just check. Here, I mean, we got a call, of course. King Jack, okay. Like right here, I think he should probably just... I guess check flop is fine, but... You really don't want to let people just see the showdown, right? And there, am I folding like any pair? I mean, maybe the bottom pair or something. That's 3-bet. 14's fine. And if we get jammed or something, we're just going to have to put it in. The fact that they fold, though, makes me think maybe the idea of just confidently getting it in with the tens may be a little bit too wide. It's always tough to know. If you all are still in the tournament and want me to watch your table for a little bit, let me know. We'll pull it up. We'll probably pack it up in about 30 minutes or so. Huge thanks to all of you for playing the game. Hope you enjoy the free money if you get in the money. First place, we're walking away with $912 thanks to CoinPoker. We're paying out all the way down to 56th place. They get $29.50. That's a nice free roll, really. I mean, goodness gracious. If you want to continue playing our weekly free rolls, make sure you check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. We give away $1,000 basically every week. Check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt for that. It's a $1 buy-in on CoinPoker. And we add $1,000. Any advice for people who cannot afford solvers? Well, look, at Peak GTO, check out peakgto.com. I'll type it in the chat for you. We regularly do free access. I'm not exactly sure when the next one will be. Make sure you get on our email list. But we give completely free access to the site. I think we also give you some number of free solves each day, something like that. I think we have lots of pre-flop spots there for you for free. Also, if you are a Poker Coaching member on pokercoaching.com, we have a lot of quizzes based in Peak GTO that are included in pokercoaching.com in the Tournament Masterclass. Definitely check that out. Here we'll call with the sevens. We also have lots of drill challenges where I or other poker coaching coaches go through a tricky spot and we play 25 hands. Then you get to see how you do over the course of those 25 hands and see if you do better than we do. All right, here's a dicey one, but I think we can call. This player seems pretty aggressive. And I think the sevens can flop pretty nicely. Obviously, I want this guy to fold because that's going to make our sevens fare way better post-flop. Oh, gosh. We could just be dead. Man, oh man, is this just a fold? I think we have to call and then call it off on a safe turn, right? Yeah? I mean, that's safe enough. Yeah. All right, just dead. Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. I don't really know if we're supposed to be folding the flop. I think once we see the flop, we just cannot fold the turn. Right? That's a dicey one. Because you got to realize on the 5-4-3, yeah, they're going to always have good equity with whatever they have. Even like ace-king, right, has good equity. But sometimes we are just very dead. But with the gut shot, you really don't want to be looking to fold. Like that's the spot where if I had eights, I'd be more inclined to fold than sevens on the 5-4-3. Because notice if we get a six, we just win, right? Who's this free roll for? It's for the poker coaching community. If you signed up to CoinPoker using the poker coaching affiliate code, you have access to this tournament, the $5,000 tournament, as well as our weekly $1,000 buy-in, or $1 buy-in, $1,000 added tournament. Check it out at pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. Rough day at the cash game tables for me, huh? We're 0 for 3 in all-in pots. Sometimes that's how it goes. If you all want to see me win at poker, make sure you check out youtube.com/pokercoaching. We've been uploading some live cash game vlogs. Here, we'll call the 3-bet. Horrible flop for me. Sometimes you're the windshield, and sometimes you're the bug. We're going to continue uploading some cash game and tournament vlogs on youtube.com/pokercoaching over the course of this year. We really are focusing on cash games a lot this year because I know that's what a lot of you all are playing, especially with CoinPoker giving these free money every 2 hours, right? I mean, that kind of thing is excellent. If you're a cash game grinder, now is an amazing time. It's an amazing, amazing time because the games are good. The action is good. You just got to win some hands. 3 maxi Bitcoin, getting after it again. We'll defend the 4-3 suited 3 ways. All right, junky flush draw. Wow, facing a lead. You don't expect the leads very often on a board that should be pretty good for the initial raiser, but we'll call. Leads, I think, should be a smattering of hands. It's hard to know if they have a lot of flush draws or... Because like right here, there are no straight draws, right? Typically straight draws are a hand that would like to lead. Or if it's just like a really good made hand. So if here, facing this big bet, we're already losing a lot of our implied odds. Plus, we could just be totally crushed by a bigger flush draw. So I think we can fold. Also, obviously, this guy could just have a king a lot, right? And if I call, this guy could jam king a lot. And then I have to fold completely. So that's a weird one. Tough spot. 3 maxi gets a pot. Are we doing this monthly? Well, we have a weekly free roll. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing in the future, but I think we're continuing to have the weekly $1 buy-in, $1,000 added tournament on CoinPoker. Shannon Willington in the chat. All right, we'll pull up the table. See if anything fun happens. You were playing golf, LOL. Well, if you're playing golf, you probably don't get to play poker. It is important that you decide what you're going to do. Priorities matter. Obviously, there are many things in life that should take priority over a card game or a golf game. Make sure you have your priorities straight to the best of your ability. You only have one life to live. Make sure you make the most of it. King Jack again. We've had a lot of these junky King Jack type hands in spots where I just don't get to fold them. But we'll keep trying. We get called. Okay. And we get 3-bet. Do we put in the 4-bet here? I mean, I think the prudent play is probably just to fold. I'm going to fold. I don't like this, but I think we need to fold given small blind should be pretty strong to call the initial raise. But apparently they just weren't. I say pretty strong. Obviously, they're not going to be like super nut heavy or anything because they 3-bet a lot of their best hands. So that maybe they are not. I thought they have a lot of hands that would call the 3-bet, right? So if they have a lot of hands that will call the 3-bet, given by the time I fold they're getting pretty good odds, I don't really want to be in there even in position with a King Jack that's going to be in marginal shape. So I think it's fine to fold the offsuit hands. If it was suited, I would not fold it, of course. Three maxi, at it again. In the 5,000 free roll, there are currently 94 players remaining. Remember, 56 people get in the money. It's kind of interesting in a free roll tournament too that, you know, getting in the money is like really valuable. Because imagine you bought in for $0, but you cash for $29.50. Like that's the start of a little bankroll, right? I think it's always great when, you know, people are getting into poker, they're playing for fun or free, and then they get their bankroll for nothing, just for showing up and participating. I think that's super cool. We'll raise the 4s, although folding could be perfectly fine. The gates of Olympus. Ace 10 offsuit. All right, here we go. It's about as good as King Jack offsuit. Slightly better. Facing a raise, we can call. Or 3-bet. Whatever we want. I typically want to be a little bit more polarized against the small blind raise if they do raise. So we'll just be calling the small blind. He busted after turning a straight. Oh no, I've been covering this up by accident. I did not realize. My bad, everybody. So we'll just call. Sad day for you. You turned a straight and the villain river's a boat. Did you see the one earlier where I had the nut flush and then the opponent rivered a boat? Sad day for me too. Actually, it's not that sad because we're alive, we're happy, we're healthy. Life is good. I guess the small bet I'm tempted to just raise immediately. I guess the turn check will bet chunky. It's probably just going to fold a lot, right? Shannon over here in a big pot in the chat. Enzo Poker. I feel like this is someone who has been in our games a lot. The name sounds familiar. Pocket 5s in the small blind. This is a spot where if the game has a little or no rake, you should definitely call a preflop raise. But if it has a lot of rake, you would 3-bet it every time from the small blind. So definitely make sure you understand the structure of the game you're playing. Do you like the new rake reward system? Really, I have not looked at it all that much, so I have no opinion. Like I said, I'm not even sure how much rake is taken out of each pot. As it's more and more, you should 3-bet more and more from the small blind. Very, very important strategy. You can see the charts on Peak GTO, where we have charts for games with a rake taken out of each pot, and we have charts for games with no rake taken out of each pot. And you'll see the small blind strategy changes a ton. Also, you defend the big blind way tighter as the rake is bigger. That said, there is an ante in these pots, so you still defend the big blind pretty wide. As the pot is bigger, you defend wider, just naturally. We got 3 maxi in another pot. Loosey-goosey. Skill score. What's my skill score? Am I any good? It probably thinks I'm terrible after today. I've lost every pot. Where's my skill score? Tell me. It's interesting they tell you if, like, where someone's playing, like on a PC. I guess is the other option, like, mobile, right? It's kind of a weird thing to say. Like, I feel like that's something they should not say, right? Because if you know someone's on mobile, it means they're probably doing something else, which means they're going to be slightly distracted, which means maybe they're not going to be quite as good or as sharp as if they're sitting at their desktop only playing poker. I don't think I like that they give that information. I don't really understand how this works. $12,500. What? So what I don't understand is in these scenarios where, I guess we can 3-bet this one. Why does it say $7,500 when only $5,200 gets divided? That's my question. Where's the money going? I don't understand. My winnings. Oh, does the rest go to the players at the table? Is that what's happening? Oh, so maybe $20 goes into the pot and then $60 gets divided among the players at the table. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, I'm figuring it out. So if it says it's like $50 added, but only 20 goes in the pot, that means the other 30 is just given to the people at the table. That makes a lot of sense. I think we can call 3-bet. This guy's been raising the limps very aggressively. If we get top pair, obviously we're thrilled. Check flop. We'll just check again. If he checks it back, we'll bet river big. Ooh, annoying river. Look, he could easily have a 10. I'm just going to check. I don't think he's going to call like king high on the river. And yeah, he could call a jack maybe, but it's just so easy in this spot for him to have a 10, right? A 10 is a hand that's going to check the flop a lot, going to check the turn a lot, and we'll put in a raise on the river. And obviously the player's kind of aggressive, right? It's not like they're bad or anything. So this is a spot where I think the right place to check just to protect the checking range. 3 maxi again in the point, in the pot, every single hand. Playing 37% of hands. That's wild for 3 maxi. You've noticed the players don't fold top pair very often. Well, top pair's a good hand. I don't fold top pair very often. 3 maxi going for it. Show the bluff. Show the bluff. No show of bluff. If you're bluffing, you got to show it, right? I feel like you're obligated. That's a joke, just so all of you know. You should not feel obligated to show any hands. That said, if you are playing in games where you're trying to create lots of loosey-goosey action, then showing is quite nice. Because you get the people riled up. It's always good to get people riled up. Thanks to all of you for being here today. If you're enjoying the show, do me a favor. Click the like button, click the notification button, click the subscribe button. Make sure you check out all the other videos we have at youtube.com/pokercoaching. That would be a huge, huge help to me. Hope you all enjoy the content. If you have any ideas or suggestions for content, definitely let us know. You can email us anytime at support@pokercoaching.com. 3 maxi at it again. Finally lets it go. Finally loses a pot. So, in the tournament, currently, 82 players remain. 56 get in the money for $29.50. First place today is $912. Under the gun, should you be raising to more than 2 times the big blind, or does it depend? Well, look, in the reality, your preflop raise size doesn't matter all that much as long as you're adjusting your range accordingly. As you're raising smaller, you get to raise wider because you're risking less money, right? That said, typically you want to ask, is a player in the big blind and on the button, the players you're most likely to be against, are they going to play better or worse as you make it smaller or bigger? Because sometimes people will defend against a min raise way, way, way too wide. Others will defend way, way, way too tight. That said, if someone defends against a 3 big blind raise with the range they should defend against a 2 big blind range because that's all they studied, well then perhaps you should be raising bigger just to get more money in the pot against a range that is too weak. So always ask, what are my opponents going to do incorrectly? Just wait these players out on CoinPoker. They'll pay you off. Oh, well, I've had a lot of very good hands and they've had better, so. Sometimes that's how it goes. All right. I'm over reading Twitter for fun. Hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. We will be having a poker coaching meetup game in real life coming up on June 4th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Bellagio. I will be there along with Justin Sleba and Alex Livingston, our new mixed game coach at PokerCoaching.com. He just released the, Mastering Mixed Games course. He goes through all the games. If you're going to be playing those at the World Series of Poker or just in general, you're definitely going to want to check that out. We raise the Jack 7 suited. We get 3-bet. We will fold. Jack 8 suited. I'll probably make a loose defend. Jack 9 suited will definitely continue. But unfortunately, we have the 7. Unfortunately, we have the 7. Tough when you don't get very many great hands. Was this for everyone or only poker coaching members? This was for people who signed up to CoinPoker at pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt and used the poker coaching affiliate code. In addition to this tournament, every week we have a $1 buy-in, $1,000 added tournament. It's a great way to build a bankroll because it costs you $1. And if there's, let's say, 100 people, you can win your share of $1,100. It's a gigantic RI right off the bat. Oh, goodness. Look, we're probably supposed to fold this in reality, but I'm going to call. This player seems to 3-bet a ton. That's a good flop. We'll just play this one slowly because our opponent is drawing thin or dead. What's the proper GTO went to showdown percentage? I have no idea. If the person's a calling station, obviously that changes things, of course. I will say I'm not the best in these, call it generic stats, because it depends on how many people are at the table, depends on the ranges that play, the scenarios you're in. This is a spot where the opponent should make big bets on the turn a lot, given the board is pretty dynamic. If they let it go check, it's a bit unfortunate because I'm going to have a lot of, they're going to have a lot of underpairs. If it goes check, and the river's a blank, I'm going to just rip it all in for 2x pot. because then we'll get called by any ace-x and any, maybe even like kings. Now I'm just going to shove because the board's very draw-heavy. I think when they bet big on the turn, they're going to have a lot of ace-x. And if they have a draw, I don't mind if they fold. That said, they may just have 0% equity. So that's a spot where perhaps we should continue just calling because our hand is super nuts. Like if I had 2 pair there, I would definitely just call. I mean, I'm definitely shove. But our hand there might be so strong to the point we're supposed to continue slow playing. 9s here. It went raise under the gun 3-bet. Yeah, I would fold the 9s like Rubik's did. That was a good fold. Rubik's also in the chat. If we have a raise, we'll 3-bet again. You love being able to trash talk with the emojis. Yeah, have fun with it. That said, don't get distracted by the emojis. We're still just trying to play good poker. I think it's very easy, especially when you're playing a lot of tables, to get distracted by the emojis, thinking, oh, I want to throw a dirty diaper at this guy. But in reality, it doesn't matter if they get hit by a dirty diaper that's virtual. Three maxi in the pot again. Is my game on the table? My game on the table, goodness gracious. All right, here we have a raise, we'll fold. You love the Fundamental series. I mean, PokerCoaching.com/fundamentals. That's a free course that will teach you how to beat your friends, assuming they're not all that good at poker. Check it out at PokerCoaching.com/fundamentals. It's essentially based on basic GTO principles, right? Just how to think about poker and how to play poker, call it reasonably well. 3 maxi Bitcoin getting blinded down. Currently, there are 75 players remaining in the free roll. 56 get in the money. As you see, 56 places $29.50 for free, thanks to CoinPoker. Huge thanks to them to giving us all sorts of free rolls for the poker coaching members. Over the last 2 years, they've given something like $200,000 to all of you. It's nice for me to get to see lots of you in the action, playing, battling hard. We'll fold again to the 3-bet. Maybe it should be min raising so we can call more often. 8-5 suited is not quite there for me. I'd raise 8-6 suited. $10-3 is certainly no good. If you all want a lot of tournaments this month, make sure you check out the CoinPoker Millions. I think they're just called Coin Millions. Is that correct? Or the World Poker Masters. Actually, I think it's called the World Poker Masters. Yeah, this is it. They have 500,000 added for these 2 big leaderboards, which is pretty awesome. You'll also get things like coins and trophies, physical items if you win, which is nice. Here are the events. As you see, it did start today. They have a 500 main event. If you busted one of the coaches today, you get a $215 ticket. Depending on the rake structure, we can play this or not. I think we should probably not, though. Where did this go? As you can see, though, lots and lots and lots of events. Buy-ins ranging from, $5 all the way up to, I'm sure, $1,500 we see here. So small games, big games, but lots and lots of games for all of you. So if you want to play some tournaments this month, this is the place. 2 weeks ago, you took first place for around $475. Nice job, Loco4Dog. That's exactly what we're going for. I mean, can you imagine you get to play poker for free, for fun, cost you a $1 buy-in, and then you make $475? It's pretty nice. I'm very glad to have been able to do that every single month, every single week for all of you for over the last year and a half or 2 years, whatever it's been. 3 maxi, considering it. but folds. Right here, by the way, you can call pretty wide with the idea that you're going to call and then just put your money in only when you make some decent equity hand, because you're going to realize your equity very well, right? Like any pair is good. Now, that doesn't mean you should call with like 10-3 offsuit or anything, but you can defend in that spot pretty wide. What are the stakes of the Bellagio meetup game? I have no idea. I don't know what we're playing. It is at the Mixed Game Festival, ran by Card Player Lifestyle. They do a mixed game festival every few months, it seems, give or take. And that's what we're going to be playing. Usually it's small-ish stakes, though. 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8, something like that. I think it's 4, 8 last time I played. So relatively small stakes. Is it still possible to join? You can always sign up for next week at pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. We are on a break right now. I suppose I'll stick with all of you until we get in the money in this free roll. Currently, there are 71 players remaining. 56 get some money back. I'm going to sit out for a few hands, take a little break, and I will be right back. All right, everyone. We are back. We are still, well, I'm not still. they are still playing the $5,000 free roll. We have 3 maxi Bitcoin sitting over here. Very, very, very shallow stacked, grinding it out. 56 players getting the money. 71 remain. The action's getting fast and furious. Pull up some other tables from people who are in the chat. If you are still in the game, let me know. I'll pull up your table. Maybe I'll find some fun hands with you. I know Shannon Willington or something like that is still in. Got 3 Maxi still in. Got Tay-Tay still in. Let's see. Did I react to your comment? I have no idea. People in low-stakes tournaments check raise way too often these days. Okay. I mean, sure, maybe they do. I mean, look, check raising's pretty good in reality. How do you prevent yourself from overplaying a hand like ace-king offsuit? Well, you don't. Ace-king offsuit's a good hand. You got to realize, when you're playing very, very deep stacked, you got to be careful with ace-king. I mean, if you take a look at the GTO cash game charts on peak GTO, you will see that, like, say under the gun raises, and you have ace-king, you just don't 3-bet it very often. Take a look at this hand here. What is this? Limp, raise, jam, or raise, 3-bet jam? All right. All right. Big shove. How can you use the promo code for the next free roll? I do not know. I don't think you can. But email support@coinpoker.com and maybe they can help you. 10-2 offsuit. No good. If you are in this free roll tournament and you care about the $29.50, now's a pretty good time to be kind of tight, because there are a bunch of stacks that are, 6 big blinds or shorter, and those are all inevitably going to have to get it in the near future. So if you have a middle stack, now's a pretty good time to be cautious. Let's 3-bet the ace-9. You don't know where to play mixed games. I mean, there are various online sites that have mixed games. You can obviously play with your friends. All right, we raise. Facing a raise, we 3-bet the ace-9 offsuit. Middle card boards like this are not, or middle high card boards, like, Queen Jack X, Jack 10X, are not particularly great for my range, because they're going to have a lot of hands like ace, queen, king, queen, queen, jack, etc. So I think with our particular hand, it's probably okay just to check fold. When you're out of position bluffing, you really, really, really want to have some equity when called, like ace 10, king 10, 10-9, stuff like that. I don't think we want to have the ace-9 in this spot. And we're just giving up. I mean, I know it feels a little bit weak to just fold any bet here, but as long as we make sure we check with some hands like Queen X when we have it, Jack X, etc., this is fine. This is fine. 3 Maxi rips it in. Will they get a spin? Ace-5 on the button facing a raise is a fold. $66 players remain with 56 getting in the money. Like I said, they're going to be dropping off pretty quickly in the very near future, because a lot of players are sitting here with about 6 big blinds. That said, you will still need to find some ways in the pot if you're shallow stacked at the moment. If you're a big stack at the moment, you should really be leaning on the middle stacks. You should be doing a lot of min raising. And then if they do jam on you, you should probably fold, because they probably have a pretty good hand. Like right here, if I was at this table, if I was in Strut's seat, I would be min raising like every hand when they fold to me, just because these players have to be pretty tight. Yeah, these two are kind of shallow, but whatever, So I think this is a pretty good spot to be pretty aggressive. Aces, that's nice. No action. Bummer. Bummer, bummer. We got the queen 9. When you are nearing the bubble in any tournament, you always want to be pretty aggressive as a big stack. As a middle stack with like these 20 big blind stacks, you need to be pretty cautious. And if you're very short, you have to figure out how short is very short, right? Like right now in this tournament, if we take a look at, like, let's say Tay stack here is 15K. That's one of the shorter stacks in the tournament, right? We need to lose 10 people. So we need to lose effectively these people and shorter. So 15K is not going to get it done. So if you're sitting here in the tournament with something like, 6 big blinds or shorter, you do probably still need to try to find your way to get it in a pot in a reasonable scenario. You lost your 9s to ace king. What do you think is the most profitable poker lines to take at the low stakes tournaments? I'm not really sure what you mean. I mean, look, I'm always just trying to play good, strong, fundamentally sound poker. I'm not trying to come up with, let's call them tricks, because tricks are good against particular types of players in particular times, right? I mean, for example, on the river, if you know people, quote unquote, never check raise bluff all in, and the people in your games know it, you got Tay all in with the ace king against ace 7 and gets the double. 3 maxi Bitcoin all in, gets the double. Well, not the double, but the win of the pot. Can you still use the code if you did not use a code? Look, I don't know. I'm not in charge of the codes. Please email support@coinpoker.com. Tell them that you forgot to use it when you signed up and you'd like to be added so that you get access to the Poker Coaching $1,000 added weekly tournaments. Again, I'm not in charge of CoinPoker at all. I am just here happily accepting the money they want to give to all of the Poker Coaching members. Hope you all enjoy it. Sorry if it's a bit of a hassle to actually collect it. 3 maxi. Oh no. 5s against 6s. No. Needs the 10. No. 3 maxi falls just short of the money. A brutal disaster of a day. Oh my goodness. How does this happen to the champion of the CoinPoker Freerolls? How does that happen? He busts himself. In whatever place this is, 64th place. That's how it goes sometimes. Fun game. Notice Water Bank has been raising our limps over the small blind very, very aggressively, which is fine. I think a lot of people think, oh man, they're annoying me. They're raising me over my limps every time I don't get to limp. But as long as you're protecting your range, you'll be fine. You just got to make sure you do indeed protect your range. What a lot of people do is they mess up by raising all their good hands, limping all their garbage hands. And then, just like that, their range is very garbage, right? So you need to make sure that you instead limp with some good hands too. Three maxi out in 65th place. Ace 8 offsuit in the cutoff. Look, I don't love these Ace X offsuit type hands, but I think Ace 8's fine enough in the cutoff if they fold to me. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, feel free to type it in. Hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful month, getting geared up for the World Series of Poker coming up, starting at the end of July. I'm going to be playing a bunch of World Series No Limit Hold'em events. It's basically all the stuff I have scheduled, although I am excited to be playing the mixed game meetup on June 4th at Bellagio. with all of you, whoever wants to show up. But there are tons of no limit hold'em tournaments at the World Series this year, basically one every day. I don't know if I'm going to be playing the smaller stuff. We'll see how it goes, see how I'm feeling. I do think in a long tournament series, if you're going to be there the whole time, you do need to make a point to call it pace yourself. And look, I'm not really one who is known for pacing myself because I'm happy to grind all day, every day. But during the summer, you do need to make sure you are pacing yourself. And if there are, call it main tournaments you want to play, like the main event or $5,000 8-handed tournament, whatever games there are you really want to make a point to play, you need to make sure that you are in good shape to actually go play those games. So don't grind too hard. That said, if you're only going to Vegas for a long weekend, then you should probably do that. You just finished Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker. Best book you've digested. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Where is it? Here it is. Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker. If you enjoy poker books, if you like reading, check out my books. You can find them on dandbpoker.com. That's the publisher. Or you can get them on Amazon. Secrets of Professional Tournament Poker is the guide. It is the guide for tournament poker today. I just released a new book, by the way, called The Complete Poker Workout. If you have not checked it out, definitely check it out. Sales have been a little bit slow, so if you don't mind supporting me, get the Complete Poker Workout. You can get it on DNB Poker or on Amazon. Where's the camera? As you see, this is a bunch of poker hand quizzes. Kind of like the content you'll find on PokerCoaching.com and Peak GTO, but in a book format, where I ask you, what do you do in this spot? For example, 8-handed in a $500 buy-in tournament with 20,000 chips at 100, 200, folds to you in the hijack seat with 10-8 of hearts. What do you do? Fold, call, raise a 400 or raise a 600. Then I give you the answer. Folding is reasonable if all the players get to act or play extremely well, but that will usually not be the case, right? With a stack of 100 big blinds, you have enough chips to make a standard 3 big blind raise from the hijack, as you would do with the rest of your playable range. You raise to 600, and only a young kid on the button calls. The flop comes king 8-8, trips. What do we do? Check, bet 600, bet 1,200, or bet 1,800. Then I continue going through how to play that spot. So if you want lots and lots of quizzes and another very easily digestible book, because you can literally read one hand at a time as you see fit. Each hand's only a few pages long. It's a really, really good way to quiz yourself. Check it out. You can just search it, The Complete Poker Workout by Jonathan Little. If you do enjoy poker books or you just like supporting poker media, check out dandbpoker.com. We have all sorts of books. A really good one is Life's a Gamble, the biography of Mike Sexton, poker legend. It's a bunch of fun, crazy gambling stories. So if you like that kind of thing, we have that. They're down to 60 players now. 56 get in the money. It's all basically bubble time. If anybody else is still in the tournament, let me know. I'm happy to pull up your table and give you a sweat. It's always fun to watch all of you here, active, winning money for free. I love that. You all have to realize that with PokerCoaching.com, I tried to make the site that I wish I had when I was getting into poker, but also the site that I wish I had today. And back in the day, I would have loved to have a weekly tournament I could play where the buy-in is cheap, it's only $1, and I could win a ton of money. And like we just saw in the chat, one of the players here won $400-something last week, which is amazing. Today, someone's going to walk away with $900-something, which is incredible. And there's literally no buy-in or a very cheap buy-in. So you get to get practice, you get to get money, right? And that's amazing, I think, that we're able to provide that. So, thanks to CoinPoker for making that happen. And also thanks to all of you for showing up and playing the games. Because if you weren't here playing the games, well, it wouldn't happen either. They are on the bubble. Now, looks like still some relatively shallow stacks. The bubble means try to not go broke. Prize bubble, what's prize bubble mean? What does that mean? There's 58 remaining, and 56 get paid. I think prize bubble doesn't mean anything, though, right? That just means we're on the bubble. So like right here, you do need to be very, very cautious. Notice there's like a one big blind stack here. Over here at this table, there's a short stack 2. So like if you're in Tay-Tay's shoes, for example, you should normally go all in pretty wide, but on the bubble, you have to be pretty tight because you really just don't want to go broke, right? So these are spots where you have to ask, like, is this player just going to call it off to try to get in the money? Most people won't. But at the same time, it's just like not worth the risk to be ripping it in overly wide, right? It's got to be careful. Got to be careful. And I know 5 big blind stack is like not a lot or anything, but a 5 big blind stack is something like 22,000 chips. And as you see, 22,000 is like way up here, right? So odds are some of these middle stacks are going to find a way to go broke at some point, but also the shallow stacks are going to have to make something happen. So you probably should be somewhat snug. Should you make a second account? Look, don't break the terms and conditions of any site to try to game the system, okay? My best advice to all of you is play by the rules. Don't do anything shady. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything short-sighted. By the way, up here, I'm only playing like one table, and it looks like they're going to give me $13 or something over the course of this hour just for playing this one table. That's pretty nice. Like that's just straight rake back. And then whoever's at the top of this leaderboard is going to get a lot. I mean, they're probably playing a bunch of tables, but whatever. If you get a buy-in every 2 hours, that's incredible. Is that book on Audible? It should be on Audible. I did go and record it a while back at a recording studio in Vegas. So yeah, that one should be on Audible. All of my books, or at least the vast majority of my books are on Audible. Would you all believe that I had my hand in making all of these books down here? Isn't that crazy? Like you see that whole shelf? Every single book there, I either edited it, wrote it, heavily helped get it together, or something like that. And that's it's cool, because like in reality, I barely remember even working on all this stuff, because it happened so long ago. I've worked on so much stuff, but it's cool to be able to look it back and see each of these books that I had my hands very heavily in, that a lot of you have enjoyed. So that makes me happy. I'm glad to have helped all of you enjoy poker just a little bit more. Four through suited. Nothing happening for me in these games today, but that's okay. I'm not sure how this splash drop is awarded. I think it's random. I think it's random. If it's not random, obviously try to figure out how you can get it, of course. But if it is random, there's nothing to do. Just play and collect it. Say the name of the site again. Which one? Which one, LOL? You got to remember, we're on a 5-minute delay here, so you all cannot see my cards. Poker will not be so profitable for me if all of you can see my cards. That would be bad. We'll limp again. Call the guy's raise. He goes check this time. That's annoying. Look, we got a great hand. I'm just going to bet. The board's kind of dynamic, so we can go 2 instead of 1. Tough spot to get paid, really, because when the guy checks, he probably just has a medium strength hand that's not going to be so great on that board, but we just got to bet and try to get money in the pot. Are they in the money yet? Let's see. They are not in the money yet. Still 58. No one's wanting to go broke. There are a few stacks that are pretty short. This is a tough spot if you're sitting here with like a 4 big blind stack, like Big Fish or Tay, because notice like this player's going to be in, right? Like they're just going to be in next hand. So you really don't want to go broke before them. And this player over here is also very short. So you also don't want to be in before them. So you're really kind of forced into being very, very tight at this exact second, which is frustrating. Like right here, though, if you have a hand like Ace-King or something, you probably just want to put it in. If you have like Ace-10, though, it's probably right to just fold, which is an annoying form of poker, huh? You have all the books. Wow, glad to hear it. You have them all. Do you have all of them? Do you even know all the books that are over there? Got a lot of books. Do you think the best way to become better at poker is by practicing and reviewing your hands, or is there a more effective way to improve your game? I think reviewing your hands is very important, but also training against the GTO solver is very, very relevant and important. And if you go to peakgto.com in the trainer, you can literally set up exactly the spots that you want to work on, the spots that are tricky or hard for you, right? And that's what I would recommend doing. I mean, if you go to peakgto, here, I'll type it in the chat. If you go to peakgto.com, if you sign up, there's an assessment, whether you play cash games or tournaments, and it will help you, you will go through 25 hands, okay? And then after you play those 25 hands, it's going to direct you to drills that tell you where you're playing poorly. So if you know for a fact, let's say you, I don't know, don't bluff often enough on the river, let's say. If you don't bluff often enough on the river, and then you start training these spots where you're forced to bluff on the river logically, right? Then you're going to inevitably get better at that spot, right? So training and focusing on the spots where you struggle is going to go a long way to helping you get better in poker. And the nice thing about playing against the trainer and, you know, going through the assessments is they will tell you spots where you're playing poorly that you may not even know where you're playing poorly. And as you gain more and more awareness, it's going to go a long way to helping you just generally play better poker, right? That's the thing, is that a lot of people review hands and they either just like look at a solver output and think, okay, I played it fine. Or they get it wrong and they study it, but they miss a lot of spots where they don't even know they're playing poorly. And you got to realize that so there's spots that I don't even know that I'm playing poorly. And, you know, I have access to all these tools that I created for all of us. But anyway, awareness is key. As you get more and more aware, you will be better and better able to figure out where you're playing poorly, and therefore you can play against the trainer or study specific spots and plug the leaks. What a squeeze in this tournament here. Big sweat for all of these players at this day. We have a 2 big blind stack, 4 big blind stack, 3 big blind stack, 2 big blind stack. Goodness gracious. All at the same table. They are feeling the pressure. Assuming they care about money at all, because notice, 57 players remain, 56 get in the money. The next person out gets nothing. Whew. It's crazy whenever you're playing like a really big high stakes tournament and spots like this come up, because sometimes it does. Because like if you're in Tay-Tay's shoes here, about to take the big blind, you just got to be tight. Because look, you're going to outlast these 3 players. You only got to outlast one of them a lot of the time, right? And therefore, in the scenario, you just have to be super tight, even in the big blind. It's almost like they're playing this outlast each other game, including the rest of the players in the tournament, right? Because it's not just these players who are short. Like notice Tay-Tay is actually way up here in 48th place. So a lot of players in this scenario are very shallow. How do I just go up a little bit? Okay, ace-8 suited, we can call or 3-bet. I think either option's fine. But so anyway, that's the spot where in this tournament, all these players are very incentivized to just not go broke. And if you're the slightly bigger stack, you're good. Are they in the money? Ooh, they are in the money. So all that content, or all those thoughts I just discussed, go out the window. Congrats to everyone for getting in the money in the Poker Coaching Freeroll. Brutal for Savannah number 27. Bubbling. Brutal. And now, by the way, once they're in the money, in this spot, now these players should all be pretty wide because now they've already collected the min cash. There's no payout jump until you get to 41st place, and there's not even that big of a payout jump. So here, Tay should call and not really fold almost anything, just purely due to the pot odds. So probably just a good play. Oh, against the King 3 offsuit. Brutal for Tay. But hey, snuck in the money, which is exactly what you're trying to do. Notice all the shallow stacks at this table. This is a spot where they really should be looking to try to get the money in. I think a lot of people at this point think, okay, I need to survive. I need to get to 41st. But no. Once you get in the money, if you take a look at the payouts, there are almost no payouts. No payout jumps, right? Notice here, 56 to 42nd is $29, then 32, then 36. This is all basically the same amount of money, right? And that's all the way up to 28th place. So now your goal with all of these shallow stacks is to simply try to get a hold of a stack that can actually win the tournament. But the fact that they're going fold makes me think maybe they're still playing way too tightly. Another one bites the dust. And see what happens here is a lot of people think, okay, people are busting quickly. Now I need to be tight because people are going to bust quickly. But again, that's just not true. With your 1 or 2 big blind stack, you do still have a chance to win the tournament. And you need to try to give yourself the chance. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. I'm not going to continue streaming throughout the rest of the tournament. I'm glad that all of you got in the money who got in the money. Tough luck for those who did not. As we said, first place is $912. That's going to be going to one of you today. Thanks to CoinPoker. Huge thanks to them for hosting this free roll and all the other weekly free rolls they've done for the poker coaching community over the last 2 years. If you want to get in these free rolls next time, check out pokercoaching.com/weeklymtt. I'll put that in the chat real quick for all of you. That's going to be it for today. Good luck in your games. Have fun. Make sure you click the like and subscribe button on this video and all the other ones you feel like before you go. I appreciate that. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks again for being here. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.